Hey, welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking. Just a group of friends sitting down talking about news, culture, and yes, even politics. We have John drinking the Capri Sun.
You're
We have Doc.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
We have Ian in the figurative back. For real though, that looked real good. I'm not gonna lie.
Capri Suns are so reasonably priced, it makes no sense.
For
And they're
real.
so delicious.
They're so delicious.
My
Man,
childhood.
I
Packed
know
full
for
of fruit
real.
juice.
I know John knows the child. He'd come over all the time and destroy them Capri Suns.
You gotta grab the bitch like this and just get all of it. You know the little trick at the end too. You gotta blow into it and
Yeah.
then make it big. Then the juice will.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
happens when you blow into something?
Oh wow. Hey, that's a perfect segue into the topic. So today topics we got some pop culture topics. We have a very I don't even know a funny joke to enter, so I'm just gonna say the Adam 22 controversy going on the internet.
Funny joke to enter, which is ironic.
Yeah, right. And then we also got the Jonah Hill controversy going on too. But we're gonna start with the Adam 22 topic because I think there's a lot more to talk about there because there's just been a lot of reactions from Adam's part, and his reaction is what's making this, in my opinion, so much more worse. So let's first start with the TMZ article, and then I have a video.
TMZ.
Yeah, because
TMZ covered Adam's wife getting
of
smashed.
course TMZ
First
covered
off,
this. Are you kidding me? Of
no,
course.
niggas' wives get smashed every day, B. It's crazy that this nigga in particular. Go ahead. That's just crazy. TMZ dedicated manpower to this. That's crazy. Okay.
It's because he's been so vocal about it. I feel like if he just shut the fuck up and let the drama like wave, like whatever the term is, go over, whatever, fold over, it would have gone away. But this man has
That's
responded
that's
after responded after responded.
that's not what he go ahead.
All right, you're right. You're right. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so TMZ YouTuber Adam 22, no prob with my wife's porn career. Dot dot dot. It's a great move. All right. So, YouTuber Adam22 says he's got no problem with his wife, Lena the Plug, shooting her first porn scene with another dude, telling his fans it's actually a big positive for their career. For their careers, both of them. The No Jumper podcast host went on the Bird app to talk about Lena Sunday, writing, "It's officially been a week since I let my wife do a porn with another guy. I felt a little jealous at first, but overall it wasn't that big a deal." And then here's the full tweet. I'm gonna read the full tweet. "It's officially been a week, blah blah blah. But it's not a big deal. She's watched me sleep with hundreds of girls, and it's never affected our relationship. Sleeping with that gentleman has been amazing for both her career and our business at Plug Talk Show. Overall, I'm glad we did it, and I'm happy to report her vagina has returned to its original pre-blank size."
I don't know what the blank is, honestly. Like pre-fuck, pre-porn.
I'm assuming pre-fuck size, yeah. That would only thing
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
that's a wild last sentence. I don't.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like you could have ended the fucking post at like at Plugs talk show, and that would have been it.
No, he said no. I got a video for y'all to react to. Also, he's this man's wild. Like this is why it's get worse. Let me finish a couple more paragraphs and let's get
So
initial
you got a
response.
video for us to react to. I was like, oh, he's not finna do what I
No, no,
think he's
is
finna.
no. I'm not. No, come on now. It's YouTube. We can't do that. For those unaware, the
But
two
you can
share
you can wipe your ass with Nair on YouTube, and you can do naked yoga on
a
YouTube.
naked. Yep, that's
But
that's
there's a
facts.
guy currently showing people how to use Nair and get the hair out your ass on YouTube that's uncensored.
Let's stay
Huh.
relevant to the topic, John. Let's stay relevant to the topic.
I mean, he's
It is.
kind of on base.
It's kind of relevant. It's kind of relevant. We talking about cheeks. But go ahead.
God. For those unaware, the two share a kid together. And apart from No Jumper, they co host Plug Talk podcast together on OnlyFans, where they interview a woman weekly and then hook up with them after. You
I
were right,
told
Doc.
you.
Yep, you were
I
right. You told
told
me about
you.
this. You were right. Adam's wild tweet came after getting slammed online for Lena's scene with Jason Love, getting called Simp of the Year. He was met with the same energy after his tweet, getting response like, "I cannot believe what I'm reading and ain't no way, boy." All right. So initial reaction before we get to the
Hold on,
video.
hold on. Ain't no way, boy. That was the tonage of the person that said "ain't no way, boy." I know you
I
were
understand.
reading it,
Yeah,
so
I understand. It had
but
to
it
be
was
the
"ain't no
tone. The
way."
tone needed. Yeah, the tone needed to be there. I understand. I understand. So initial reactions. What do you got there for us, Doc?
I honestly don't like if it's true that like he's been with hundreds and she's only been with one. It's like I don't think it. I don't
Simple
know. I don't
math,
feel like it's
right?
that bad. Yeah, right. It's like I mean, it's just math, right?
Oh
So I
man,
don't
Wade
think he's a
Johnson.
cuck in that sense, where it's like he has to sit down and only watch her and like only she's doing it. It's like nah, he's like doing his own thing. They clearly have an alternative lifestyle, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't fall under the same rules.
John.
I think he's a pimp. I think there's I'm sure if he went to a therapist, they would tell him he has some type of detachment issues. Um, I do think it is. I think he is being smart as far as marketing it because not everybody wants to see it, and if you make it purchasable for some not extreme price, but like something that will be enough. I'm sure based off everything that's going on, he could have easily got at least 100,000 people to buy something for maybe $20. That'll put you at 2 million. So
Yeah, I think people definitely are paying for it. If anything, just the people that are like antagonizing him, they're like, I want to see this just so I can make fun of him. And
two,
he,
it's already happened. The
for
scene was
sure.
going to happen whether it got one view or not. As in, that was an agreement that they made together to do. Because, but hold on, I'm going to give you some more information that you probably don't know. But that was what they agreed to do, right? So if they agreed to do it, whether 10,000 people watched it or a million people watched it, the scene would have been done. Now, from a business standpoint, would you rather, I won't even say you, would you rather somebody else's wife get fucked and only 10,000 people watch it and you get whatever the income would be off 10,000 people that you really don't need because we don't have to discuss the fact that their podcast and
Successful.
his no
Wildly
jumper thing are
successful.
extremely successful. So it's not like the income was needed. It wasn't like a dire situation, but it was going to happen regardless. So he might as well make as much money off of the situation as possible, which is what I'm sure he's doing. But also, if you watch No Jumper, Adam's like really fact of the matter, like nonchalant, like he'll try and play it too cool. So he is trolling, but he probably is hurting at the same time. But because he's been on other podcasts before in the past and said it will never happen.
That he would never let his wife happen, or like,
Yeah, they would never let, even knowing that they be having threesomes and all that shit together, say he would never let somebody else fuck his wife. He did it on the Flagrant podcast.
hmm. Nah, I feel like if that's the case, then she's the cuck, and at that point, that's a whole different issue.
The
Can a
guy
woman
that
be a
the
cuck?
guy that's the
Yeah, I
guy
think
that
so.
smashed the guy that smashed has been doing interviews
Yeah.
and he's talking about
Hold on,
he's
hold on,
popping his
hold
shit.
on, hold on, hold on, John. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I got a
Okay, now.
lineup, all right? I got a lineup.
Okay.
Let's lead
I
into
just want
it.
to make sure you knew everything that went down. Okay,
Yeah, I
go
got you.
for
No,
it.
I got you. Trust me. That's why I prefaced before we started that this one might be the longer conversation, the Jonah Hill conversation, because there's a
Oh,
lot,
the
to get
piece of
into here.
information, the piece of information that I'm not sure if you guys actually know is the reason why it happened
Yeah, I don't know that one.
because people hate Adam. It was the most requested video from her fans.
Really?
So her reasoning for fucking somebody else
Oh wow.
was because her fans wanted her to fuck somebody else,
See,
knowing she was married.
okay, now my
So
reaction.
yes, he is a cuck.
Ian's
Was
got a
that was
soundboard going. Ian's
I
got
know,
a
right?
soundboard going. Hey, we got a soundboard. Let's go.
Yeah, I heard that and I was
well done, Ian.
like, there's some guy outside John's window just like screaming. You just heard him saying it.
Why's it gotta be
Well
John?
done. If you need
He
advice
was
on
talking.
what to put on the soundboard, you contact me after this podcast and we'll go through that.
That was perfectly timed too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
To you.
So yeah, she basically came up to him and said, "My fans want me to fuck somebody else. They're tired of seeing your dick." And so
See, this is my biggest problem with this. Like, obviously, I'm not with this whole sharing my wife or even my girlfriend kind of situation. I'm monogamous. Like, I'm yours, you're mine. There's no
I
ifs,
wouldn't even
ands, or
pass the
buts about
blunt
it.
for real.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So that's my take. So obviously, I disagree with that. So I'm not going to address that because I think that's too obvious. My big issue on top of that is clearly this is only a money move. And it's wild that this is what you're willing to do for a money move. Especially as
2023.
John just prefaced, you're already successful with the No Jumper podcast and the podcast you have going on with her.
I
Whatever
mean, you
that
have to
podcast
like
is called.
you have to think about like his predicament
Plug
though.
talk.
Like your wife comes up to you, she's either watched or helped you fuck countless girls, and she's like, "Hey, my fans want me to do this." You have no
She gets
legs.
to partake in that though. It's a threesome, is it not?
But I mean, technically, like it's him against two women. You know,
I
who
don't
do you think really
I don't
enjoyed it
know
the
that
most in the
I don't know
situation?
that she
I
didn't offer him I don't
this
know
is
that she didn't offer him a chance to partake.
Yeah, like
I
you don't really have like strong ground to stand on in an argument when your wife's just like, dude, like literally like let you like just run.
that's why
She
I
also
wouldn't.
gave him
That's another
but
reason why I
Yeah.
just wouldn't do it because you're not wrong, Doc. I had no
but
problem telling her no, but I wouldn't even be in the situation in the first place.
Yeah. But I'm just
she
saying,
gave
like
him
his issue is
multiple
different.
outs though. She gave him multiple opportunities to get out. Like on the way there before she left, like, are you sure? If
What
you
do you mean
say
by
no
get it?
right
Like,
now,
what do you mean like?
To
she
cancel
gave him multiple
the shoot.
opportunities to change his mind back to no.
Really?
And he still said, that's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing about Adam. If y'all watch No
Hold
Jumper,
on. Before you get to that, let's get to the video. Let's react to the video. So pull up the video, Ian. This is the actual. I think I sent you the correct one. It should be from their actual No Jumper clips. We're not going to watch the full 10 minutes. We're only going to watch like maybe the first 3 or 5. But I think the first 3 minutes, honestly, is really all we need to see to understand the situation. So, did I send it to you, Ian, or do you need me to send it to you again? No. It's not that one. It's the YouTube video.
Doing this.
It's a YouTube video.
Oh, I'm getting a call.
Boom. Yes, this one. All right, so let's watch like the first 3 minutes and let's see where it goes. But like, let's just watch. Let's just watch.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take this. Oh, hello.
Look who it is.
Mr. Jason Love. How you doing, man?
Is that his wife?
It was good.
We're just doing a little
That is his
podcast
wife.
here, and figured that we would.
this nigga's
you know,
named
have a
after the
little
first
conversation
man
here
on
to
earth. It's
see
crazy.
Exactly how all this was for you. as
Ian,
well.
are we on YouTube Live?
Cool.
It looks like our
Watch
stuff's not
Sane,
working.
Catch y'all. See what's up.
Okay, there we go.
Definitely. So, is there? What's the
Okay,
vibe
no,
like
it's up. My
between
thing
you
was
guys?
just tripping.
Anything I should know about?
I don't think there's a really vibe. I think it's like a business thing, but I feel just very uncomfortable with this right now. I feel
A
awkward.
little uncomfortable.
Can you tell him how nervous I was?
Bro, like so nervous. Oh my God. I feel so wrong right now. I feel so wrong right now. Like
It was
like
bad.
it's just work.
Okay,
Calm down.
but a lot of people have like a cheating fetish. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like
I feel like you do.
yeah, cheating I've done in the past. Was I'm a little bit turned on by the fact that I was doing something underhanded, or take myself out of it. But like, if you're fucking a girl and you know she has a boyfriend and she's doing something wrong, that is kind of hot.
Is it?
A little bit.
You see, he knows.
A little bit. It's kind of like the adrenaline. Like
I'd
you
feel
know,
so
you're
guilty
supposed to be doing
if
it.
I was the other woman.
Okay, so Jason, give me a genuine review. How was it?
You want like a number scale? Or
Even
just
he's like, yo, what? You want?
Numbers sounds like it could be hurtful, but if it's a high number,
You guys are
sure.
like a 4.
He's like, yo, for real?
100%, 9 out of 10.
Really, 9 out of 10. Who's a 10?
Well, obviously her.
Oh,
Well, it was a 9 out of 10. I never grasped the entire
A
10.
review?
Like you gotta leave room
A
for something
review?
that could possibly top the next one.
okay, yeah,
I'll take a 9 then.
that's fair. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people want to know. I don't know, just like if I should feel diminished as a man as a result of this. Like the cuck narrative is very, very strong. I just want to get your thoughts on that, and if how people should think about that in the context of me being, you know, the silent third party in all this.
Well, I don't know. Like, if you look at it in a business aspect, then basically it was just a job, you know. She's high up in her ranks. I'm high up in my ranks. Us two together obviously would make the most amounts of money. So it's not so much being a cook. If you're comfortable with it, y'all communicated it prior. Obviously, she said y'all did. So it's not really a cook situation. It's more of like two people coming and making an understanding.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're cool with it, then you know it is what
Ian
it
has
is.
an issue with
Me
the thing. It
personally,
says upload
I
a
don't
sound.
know if I have.
It's probably because Discord. Well, I don't know if it's actually coming out of Discord to
No,
YouTube.
I think Ian's trying to do something on the side, or he accidentally clicked something because right now on the YouTube thing, there we go. No, it's good now. I think something popped up for a second. All right, start it back up. Honestly, I kind of needed that mental
Enough
pause.
to allow it, but everyone's different. Everyone have different levels of, how do I say, mental maturity.
Well, it would be kind of weird for you to find a dude bigger than you. Maybe they could resurrect Andre the Giant or something. Maybe you could get Brock Lesnar to come through and cut it up for you. But I mean, you're kind of like the biggest dude that I
Anybody
could
wanna
think
speak?
of. I don't know. It's going to be tough for you to find a bigger guy.
Hold on, we haven't
I
gotten
got
to
a
a point yet.
couple,
Hold on,
couple.
hold on.
There's a-
Yeah.
There's more.
But
could
you know,
de-
it's not just the size; it's everything that goes.
Are you guys
into
still
it.
watching?
Makes it, you know.
Definitely. Lena is just
I wanna
like
get to the point that he
shriveling up
says
into a
something
ball
first.
right now. I can see how uncomfortable this is making you.
Yes, it is making me very uncomfortable, and I'm glad that he's only, you know, on Zoom and not here right now.
You think that would be awkward?
Yes. Also, I would feel like I'd feel a lot of sexual tension, and I felt like we would have to do a scene
Oh
if you
my
guys were both
God.
here.
See, she's out of control now. She's on a tear.
I've been known to have that effect. I apologize.
See, all right. Now I'm going to have to really mind you next time you're going to an adult event that he's going to be at, right?
No, but I would be turned on if you were there.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like you're part of it.
So you think that if me and you go out to a party and we see him, that there's a chance that we'd all end up hooking up after?
I don't know what his stance is on working with you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh my God!
I don't care.
Oh, hell yeah.
I get it in regardless.
Damn, that would be, yeah, I can see that. That would probably kind of make me feel like I had put a cap on this whole situation if we all did it together.
Good closer.
Wow, maybe that is the three-way that we should do, because that would be pretty viral rather than just some random guy, right?
Yeah.
It would be crazy.
As long as I'm not
Plotting.
sitting in a chair with my fucking
You have
arms
to for
tied
one-
behind
for
my
one
back or
shot.
whatever.
You gotta hold the
Okay.
camera for one shot.
All
On
right.
the 5-minute mark, Ian cut it.
But now I got to rewrite the script.
Yeah. What do people need to know about Jason Love, since like you're kind of, I almost feel like a large percentage, maybe even the majority of the photos that you're going to be taking over the next year or so, it's going to be people saying like, you're the dude who fucked Adam 22's wife. I don't know. I mean, I know you get recognized all the time, but it's kind of an interesting scenario that you're in now, right?
I got stopped.
Yeah, that's fine. We can stop it there. All right. So, that's yeah, that's awkward, man. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I just think it's so much worse. Like they prefaced when the clip first started, it was so uncomfortable and awkward. Like they know it is. They're aware that it is, but they tried to ride the wave, and it's weird. That's all I gotta say, bro. It's weird. I do not understand how people are okay with this. The mental gymnastics you have to go through just to think this is okay. He's obviously not okay with it. She's obviously not okay with it. The only reason why they're able to get through it, in my opinion,
She
is
was okay
because
with it.
they're making hella money.
She was okay with it. Gene,
Man,
she said, I feel like if you were here in person, we'd have to do a scene.
I think
And
that's
then-
cope, bro. I think
and
that's cope. They
then-
said how uncomfortable
and
she was. She was
then
coming in on
to
herself.
say
They pointed out, bro.
She was talking about sexual tension.
You're probably right, man. I don't know. I just think
Not
it's
even
weird,
probably
bro.
right. She just said it.
I
She
actually
literally
think
just said it. And then she followed it up with, then we'd have to do a scene. And then she realized what she said and then included Adam somehow. Oh, yeah, you'd have to be there. Huh?
yeah, she did tag him on at the end, but I think honestly the one driving up the awkwardness is Adam.
100%.
Because like they were just like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, was it good?" He's like, "Give me." It was just like, "What the fuck?"
Give me a rating. What's the
So,
rating?
yeah.
Oh my
You know what?
god.
You know what's going on too? His ego is so big, he
Yeah.
can't let you know that it's actually affecting him. So he feels the only way to prove that it's not affecting him is to lean into it.
Into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Versus,
yeah. Also,
so
even
this is
like
him. This
that
is
last phrase,
self-deprecation.
man. Like that last phrase of like, I bet you now wherever you go, you'll be like, you're the guy that fucked my wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like him just kind of throwing that shit on top of him was like, damn, that's extremely egotistical.
Because he'll say, yeah, maybe that's the scene we should do, right? And then he'll say, as long as I'm not in the chair with my hands tied behind my back, da, 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 da. Like those are the things. Those that's what's really that's what he really feeling, in my opinion. He could be telling the truth, but I ain't gonna talk. It seemed cap to me.
Honestly, I actually feel like she's a cuck, man. Like, remember you asked me right earlier if a cuck? Like, I think this is it. Like, dude, she's
I mean,
literally she's being graded in front of a live studio audience,
the
man. Like,
reason why I don't feel she's a cuck.
That's your
One,
wife, bro. That's your
one,
wife.
one. She's bisexual. Two, her being bisexual, she had to have known when she made this arrangement with him that they're gonna be fucking bitches together, based off what she does for a living. That this was gonna eventually happen.
I
She
think
had
the
to have
fact
known.
that she
It's
like
almost like she built up equity just to do it.
I could see that, but I think the fact that she kind of attributes so much attention to him in the conversations kind of makes her a cook. Because I don't think Adam would be like, oh yeah, and also you got to include my wife. Like, I don't think he'd do that. At this point, I've never heard him talk more than other things around this. This is the first time I've ever actually heard him talk about his like personal life. But I
She
definitely
did.
feel like he wouldn't tag her on as much as like, you could tell she was just like, oh yeah, you definitely come too, Adam. Like you definitely be a part of it too. And so that to me is like kind of like cuck behavior, man.
I disagree.
I feel it, but it's just she's getting something. She was doing girl on girl scenes before she met Adam. So like you can say the threesome part is cuck behavior, but Adam also wasn't allowed to sleep with women outside of that threesome thing. Every woman that he slept with outside of it,
She
he was
was
cheating.
involved.
Well,
If she wasn't
so he
involved,
If she wasn't involved.
he was cheating.
Yeah, there you go.
But she even says it. She's like, I think you have a cheating fetish for it. Like she's kind of calling him out on his behavior at that point.
Because he got caught cheating. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you
And
think she
also
could be a cuck, Gene?
he bought her a Lamborghini truck, a Urus. You know what the price tag on a Urus is?
Yeah. Oh. I don't, but I mean,
$300,000 minimum.
I feel like that's a. I mean, once the money like changes, I
He's
think like the lifestyle
self-deprecating.
changes too.
He's literally cutting his wrist right now. He gonna keep leaning into it until you have a breakdown.
So, Doc, the reason why I don't think she can be a cuck is because I had to look it up to confirm, but cuck is literally only defined towards a man whose wife is unfaithful, a weak, effeminate, unmanly, or inadequate man who is often dominated by their female partner.
So then, what's the female
Yeah,
version?
that's a better question. What's the female version of it? I don't know.
I mean, because I mean, I'm kind of more
Chris,
arguing like the spirit of it, but I understand if
Caucus,
semantically like it's
Caucus.
just not. I guess
Words are crazy.
And the reason why I don't think she's a cuck is because there was, like
A
John said,
coldress.
it was an agreement. Like she's bisexual. They have a podcast where they bring on other female OnlyFans or whatever, and they sit around, have an interaction, talk, and then afterwards they go make content. Like it was an agreement. That's not being cucked on her part. She's involved in it. Being a cuck is literally Adam watching a video of his wife getting screwed by another man. That's literally a cuck. Like definition wise, that's literally a cuck. If he was involved in the act, then it's a better argument he's not a cuck. But he literally wasn't involved. He had to watch her get screwed by another man, and then he had to go and have an interview with this other man about how good she was and how he's not a.
But that's his own doing. That he stepped
That
walked
was
into
a
that
that's
himself.
that was a crazy question. He said rate her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
my
his own
God.
making. Like that's a little bit different.
But still doesn't
He
dispute the
is
fact that he's a
hurting
cuck.
himself.
Even if he's doing it to himself, it's still a cuck. It's still cuckish
No,
behavior.
exactly. Exactly. I completely agree.
All right.
Well, I mean, if what you said is true though, where he was actually asked, like when she would back out, I don't think so because a lot of the decisions he made to himself, I guess, like in semantics, yes, it makes some sense. But to
He
me,
didn't
the
want to be
essence of
wrong.
the essence of cuck is that you have no power, and you are deliberately shown it to you. And so
Oh, okay,
semantically,
I get what you're saying.
yes, like yes, it's a male, and yes, he is like there's sex involved and stuff like that, and he's being shown it to him, and he's having to deal with it emotionally. But it's more so about the powerlessness of it, and he
What if
had the
the
power
male?
to back out if what you say is true.
I
What
didn't
if
see
the
the
male chooses
powerlessness in
to?
the cuck definition. I could be wrong, but I
But
didn't see the
if
powerlessness or
it's
being forced to. It's just simply like your
But that's what
wife,
I'm
your
saying.
woman.
Like you're arguing the semantics of it, and you're not
I think
necessarily.
you're arguing the
no, no, no,
semantics
no,
of it,
no, no, no.
or we both are, and we're talking past each other. Go
If
on, John.
but
Sorry.
if you're talking about it as a fetish, then the cuck person is ceding power. It's not being taken from them. They're ceding the power to the woman and accepting that form of disrespect, if you will. Like if you they're willing participants. The cuck is. It's not it's not forced cuck because then it would be forced cuck. It literally is them willingly participating. And so him and this me just thinking or whatever, him having the opportunities to back out, he saw them at more opportunities to solidify that he stands like on his principle of what's fair is fair, what's logical, da 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 da. I'm a man of logic, I'm a man of this. And he knew that him saying no would not create an imbalance in the relationship, but would would show that there are some things sometimes where he's making a decision out of emotion. Where I'm sure if you everybody's been in a relationship, you argue with a girl sometimes, you'd be like, that's not logical. You always kind of try to approach things from a logical point of view. So he would have ceded that she was being more logical than him in that situation. And in order not to see that, he kept self-deprecating to the point where now he's leaning into it. Just so he can say he's consistent with
I
his
actually,
principles.
well, I actually felt differently, like, because at least from the story, from what you guys told me, it's like, dude, you have this guy, and you're able to sleep with all these women. Your wife is like beside you, literally double teaming some of these women and stuff like that. Like, and then there's this one point where she's like telling you, like, hey, I'm gonna do something that is individualistic without you, but I'm still giving you the power to veto the situation. And to me, like
That's the definition of a cuck.
no, to
I think
me, like to me, I understand. Like eventually, yes, I guess technically, like you could get into the cuck situation of it, but to me, what I'm trying to say is that like you have to really think, like, damn, like this girl like is literally letting me so many liberties, and at the same time, she's about to take her own liberty. She is giving me the power to veto it. Like that to me on an emotional level, even though it's fucking alternative, is pretty heavy. So I think
oh
that
for
might have
sure.
been what spoke to him.
But I think now I think I agree with you. It is semantics, but I think what you're describing is literally a different word. Like cuck, the man, is technically pimping his girl out. That's what a actual cuck is. It's not without his permission. It's I'm giving permission away for this to happen, which is exactly what happened in this situation.
I'm not like
Literally.
I don't know like the epistemology of it, but like I definitely think that a cuck is when another man would just like force another man to watch his wife be fucked and like her enjoy it more.
I'm sure you can
No,
associate
the
cuck
cuck,
to that, but that's not. But that's not
that's
like
not what a cuck is. A cuck is enjoying his wife being
No, I'm
smashed.
pretty sure it was created with my example, and then eventually, once it became like an internet fetish, they just adopted the word and used it to that.
That's possible. That's possible.
I
Because a
want to
maybe.
cuckold
say it's
is,
a different word you're thinking
At the
of.
end of the day, it doesn't
because even
matter.
cuck is an abbreviation of cuckold, and so like,
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I definitely am thinking more of the essence, yeah, where it's like you're powerlessly watching somebody use you, or like you're powerless to interact with something while people are just like enjoying themselves in front of you, and it's
Okay.
just emotionally triggering you.
So then I guess the difference of opinion would be whether the person that's powerless in the situation is enjoying it or not enjoying it.
But that's why I'm starting to think that the woman, I mean, if we throw out the definition and we just kind of use the essence of the idea of it, I definitely think the woman is the one who's being the cuck or the cuckold in this situation, because she's the one who's kind of being sold out. You know what I mean? And so she just kind of has to take it.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. But he didn't suggest it. She did.
Okay. That well then
Because she's
yeah.
bi.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well then
she
that would be
suggested it.
different. I didn't know that. I thought it was
Mhm.
well I
Oh,
like you said, it was a business
he
statement.
said, he said, "Hey, wake up, wake up! I got something for you to do, and you might not like it."
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. Like if
I
he's
wouldn't
just
put
like, hey,
past him either.
we gotta make a move or something like that.
Shit. Adam
Because they
gives off real
prioritize
creepy
the money,
vibes.
so that's the weirdest part about this. Like I said when we first got into this, like all the obvious stuff is the fact that they prioritize money so much that they actually ended up doing this, putting on the internet, and now are getting dragged so hard for it. Like that's the wildest part for me, is the love for money. They don't need the money, but they're doing this obviously for the money. It's so wild and baffling to see.
And you could tell he was trying to convince himself that he was cool with it because he was like, she's older, she's about to get out the game soon, so she's just trying to, squeeze the last out of her career, that she can. Like, bro, y'all are well off. What do you mean squeeze the last out of it? Why
And
is
they
she
have
still
a
doing this?
kid together. We haven't even addressed the fact that they have a kid together and they're still doing content like this publicly.
Like,
Like, so publicly. All right, last
soon
thing.
Twitter's gonna be a virtual graveyard where people go back to look at just old tweets.
All right, last
That's
thing to
eventually what
react to.
Twitter's gonna be.
Pull up the
And
tweet, Ian. The first thing you pull
it's
up on
gonna be a
actually before we go to Ian.
crazy hashtag. Oh my goodness.
All right, so he literally just posted this today. Like when I was pulling up stuff to watch, I was like, "Oh shit, this just came out," and I watched, and I was like, "Well, this is relevant, so let's react to this too." So this is like what 4 hours ago or something like that, Ian. So
When he
What?
replied to Jason Love,
yeah, because apparently Jason Love, you saw in the article right behind him, it says
talking
Jason
about
Love
stretching
says
her out.
he blanked Adams 22's wife better than he does in a Barbara Walters style sit down interview, which like this is
What?
It's hilarious. The
go for it, play
whoever
Ian.
put Barbara Walters style interview,
Good word choice.
writer of the year.
I guess we're doing this today. Hey, Jason Love, I trusted you to pork my wife. And it seems like that clout is getting to your head. You're talking real spicy, and I ain't really feeling it. Number one, the angle of the dangle is more important than the cubic of the pubic. That's number one. Number two, my D game, when I'm serving it, man, it's just like your mom's home cooking, because there's a special ingredient. It's called love. You ever heard of it? Number three, don't make me expose you. And you know what I'm talking about. It could get real messy out here. Number four, you don't want problems moving around in these LA streets, because I can make that happen. I'm very well connected. And number five, you are officially blacklisted from smashing my wife again. Show some respect. I guess we're
Cringy, I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's a parody. I don't think he's serious. Or if he is serious, bro, he's holding back some genuine pain, because that was so awkward and so weird. Like I couldn't tell if he was joking, like he's trying to promote it more to gain money, because at the end of the day, I believe this is all a money move, or if he doesn't know how to handle it, that he has to do it in that like monotone robotic ass way, because that was, I don't know, that was weird.
I'll let you pork my wife, bro.
He said the angle of the dangle
It is
is
awkward.
not what's important.
See,
It's the cubic of the pubic.
hot take. Let me preface. I do not support nor do I condone cheating. When a man cheats, it's wrong. When a woman cheats, it's wrong. With that said, This
Here's
is
the-
why
here's
people.
the butt.
This this is why in the dating podcast they always argue women cheating is worse when men cheat, because when women cheat or even sleep with other men, this is what the door opens. Like when men cheat, we don't talk about it ever. I've never seen men cheat or sleep with other women and they talk about it. It's always, I don't know, maybe I'm weird like that. Like I don't know. I just think that's weird. In the preface of the video, also the interview they had with Jason Love, the fact that she felt the need to say we have that sexual tension, like oh, it have like, and she had to like oh, and I would include you, of course, Adam. Like we just like guys, in my biased assumption, we just wouldn't do that. We would never bring it up. We'd never address it. Out of sight, out of mind. We enjoyed it. Out of here. But on the girls' side, it's like you gotta address it, and it's in a problem later on. I don't know. I just hot take. Hot take. That was wild.
Yeah, fucking. I don't. That reel is awkward. For one thing, I'm like, damn, like that porn star dude really changed his tune. Different.
Right after the interview, switched up on him.
Yeah. I don't
It's a
understand what's going
dominance
on there.
thing. Like, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, between men, which is annoying as fuck, it's a dominance thing. Because he was able to have sex with his wife, he now has a dominance. I don't know, a hierarchy or or an avenue or whatever it is. He can exert dominance over him now that Adam
He's
cannot
refusing to.
ever get back.
No, you can't get it back. That man will always have some type of, I want to say dominance, because like nigga,
Yeah, I don't know what to
I'll,
call it, but he has it.
I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
but
Like
like,
that's why
but
I say
like,
dominance. But
it's he's taken something from him, and yeah, Adam really can't get it back. But that's if
and
they
he
interact
married
though.
her.
No, but that's if they interact though. Like
It doesn't even
if
matter if they
if
interact. It's
if
there
Adam walked
forever.
past, if Adam walked after all this interviewing and stuff, if Adam walked past his phone, or he walked past Lena and she on the phone with Lena, I don't know how to say it, Lena. If he walked past and she on the phone with Jason Love, like, okay, that's a problem. But like, chances are they'll never see each other ever again. They'll never have to interact with each other ever again. So as far as like that dynamic between those two men, it'll exist on the internet, like, because there's interviews and stuff, but it's not something I think he'll have to deal with on a day-to-day basis as
I
far as
hope
like
not.
feeling
I
insecure
hope
about it.
not.
But
I don't. Those aren't the moralistic
to
of
your
people.
point,
I don't
to your
trust their
point,
self-restraint.
but to your point, to disagree, I'm in a group chat where well, I would say, no, all of them are, I guess all of them are single, but I don't know. Guys in my group chat sometimes they be talking a little crazy.
But they
They be
do it.
talking
They
a
do it
little
amongst the
crazy.
friend group, and like I'm talking about publicly. Like, are you out here on your Instagram, on your
Oh
Twitter, on your
yeah,
Snapchat? And again, this is me probably being hella biased. Like I could be hella wrong here, but I just don't see men getting on social media being like, "Yeah, I cheated on my girlfriend," or "Yeah, I got so many broads like this and
oh
that,"
yeah,
while
yeah, yeah.
while dating a girl. Guys know
That's
what they're
crazy.
doing and they keep it so hush hush. Whereas girls, it's like, and again, I could be wrong, this could be my bias. They can't help but leak because
No,
for
I
some reason
disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think women are better at it.
they probably,
I
honestly, they
disagree with
probably
that.
are.
Think
No,
about
no, I disagree with better at it. I think they just are easier at. How do I phrase this a little bit appropriate?
keeping it concealed.
No, not keeping it concealed. They just don't care. If they get caught, it doesn't matter. They can replace them that much quicker compared to guys.
I
So I
think
don't
I
think
can
it.
change your mind.
Go for it. Let's go.
In every assassin movie, right? The male assassin uses one type of tactic, but what is every female assassin described as?
Described as?
Yeah, they're normally the stealthy one, right? In a
Yeah.
disguise, either they dress like a prostitute, they dress like this, they dress like that. Women have always been, whether we know it or not, perceived as more stealthy or more able to move under the radar than men when it comes to anything. And women have more options than men. So, and also they're interacting with men. There are men who will sleep with a man's girlfriend, and to your point, shut the fuck up about it. Which helps who? The girl. Whereas if it's the opposite, I'm sure that girl's gonna tell her girlfriend or something like that or whatever, and therefore you have that type of information out. So to me, women have always been the more,
Fair. Honestly, you gotta say more. You got me.
yeah, like even when it comes to, I'm not trying to say like they're more
No,
manipulative, but
I was
like
about to say you should just come out and say it, John. Just come out and say it.
I'm not trying to say it. I don't believe it.
Those eyes got wide, John. They got real wide.
It's like, John, blink twice. You're okay.
No, you know what it is? It's not even, I don't want to call it manipulative. Think about it this way. If you were dealing with like cavemen or dealing with like somebody that's rough, like somebody that's rugged, there's somebody that's like really like overly even abusive man, whatever it is, they always find a woman. And that woman, even though she may go through turmoil or whatever, she has to know how to adapt to that man's emotions, regardless of what it is. She's always had to know how to calm the man down or make the man feel better. And so I don't want to say if used positively, is it still manipulation? I don't want to put a negative word on it like
I
that.
mean, there's
But they've
positive and
always
negative manipulation, but manipulation.
okay, cool. But they've always, had to deal with us. So we,
I just,
by the
I,
need of that, because of us, they develop that skill.
I don't think it's because it might be because of us. I just think it's different. Like I just think that's the realm where their I guess for lack of a better word, their power fully like shows. Like for
They're more
example,
practiced.
yeah, well, because they can women can't exert themselves like men can. Literally, the only way
No,
men
because of
with
men.
physic, it's sure if you want to use it that way. Physic, it's not even because it's just they don't have the actual capacity to do it, like the body mass.
Hmm.
Like they just can't do it. Men,
But
and it's also different. Like we're testosterone filled, they're estrogen filled. Like because of our testosterone, we get
mhm,
mad easier. We lack sometimes patience. We're like,
correct.
so that's an issue amongst men, and because of that, we always have, and we've said this before. That's why there's always this underlying tone of aggression in conversation, because if it's not handled properly, it might lead to a fight. Whereas women, it's different. There's not an underlying tone of aggression because women just don't fight like that. Instead,
Mm.
it's an underlying tone of either manipulation or character assassination. I'm going to ruin your social credit score.
But it's because we exist. If we didn't exist, then the women wouldn't even need those skills.
No, they do. They do it for other women. What do you mean? They do it to
You know
other
what I'm
women
saying? You
also. They
said
do it to
women can't
men.
exert themselves. If there were no men, then women would be on an even playing field with each other and then therefore could try and
They,
exert themselves physically
they wouldn't though, because that's not how women exert themselves. Is my point.
because
How
they're not dominant.
is sure that's not dominant, but my only point is how men and women exert themselves certain ways. They do
Correct.
exert themselves, but how they exert themselves is different, despite the reaction of a man or a woman. Take man out of the equation, they'll still exert themselves the same way. Put a woman in the equation, they still exert themselves the same way.
I don't think so.
It is what it is.
I think whoever's at the top is going to exert themselves physically because they can. And if women were at the top, then they would do it.
That's biologically not how it is, but you know,
Like if we, I don't know. I guess if we didn't exist, I think more bitches would be fighting. Like
then why aren't they?
it'd be
Then
more
why aren't
gangster
they
girls.
fighting?
It'd be more. Like I don't know. That's how I just think. I may be wrong.
You think if women didn't exist, that men would be more, I guess,
There would be more variety of men.
I don't even know what
If
would
all
describe it.
roles needed to be filled, is I guess where my mind is. If I that makes
Yeah.
more sense. If all the same roles still needed to be filled, and either man or woman didn't exist, my my mind assumed that whatever was there would fill out those roles. But I
Well,
guess to Gene's point,
Huh.
go ahead.
we're men and women are very much the same. The differences are lie in the extreme. So when it comes to aggression, where we're talking about here, when it comes to physical aggression, Yes, women do exert themselves physically also, but when you look at the extremes, men exert themselves aggressively more so than women. When you look at kind of manipulation tactics when it comes to character, social, like all that kind of stuff, yes, men do it too, but women do it more. Everyone does it. It just comes down to women do more of the manipulation kind of stuff, men do more of the physical exertion, domination kind of stuff. That's I guess that's my point. Yes, men do it. Yes, women do it. The problem, my only point is when it comes to the extremes on the we look at the Pareto distribution stuff, men
Uh-huh.
are physically exert way more percentage than women. Women manipulate way more than men. Both manipulate, both exert.
Got you. I get what you're saying. I just assumed that people would do whatever was simplest and worked for them. So one without the other would just like the weaker men would have to resort to manipulating if there was no women. And I mean that's how it is now. The weaker men resort to manipulation, and then the stronger men resort to physical shit because we do what works for us.
That's a fair point. All right, any
Okay, I
last
get
takes
to
on? Yeah, but we gotta get to Jonah Hill. Any last takes on this wild ride?
I mean, he's gonna get money, man, but maybe he sold his soul to the devil, bro. Because probably rough ride.
he for sure gonna
Like,
cheat.
Oh yeah, he's
He's
probably
gonna go back. He's
he's got to reclaim his masculinity or his manhood, whatever you want to call it. Like, especially now that this guy's coming out talking smack about how he did it better. Like, I don't care how what's the phrase, comfortable
angle of the
in your
dangle.
manhood. I don't care how comfortable you are with your manhood. That's gonna bother you. To the degree of how much it's gonna bother you, it's gonna bother you no matter
Absolutely.
what.
Absolutely.
And he's bothered right now. How the degree of the bothersome he's feeling, no one really knows. But my
But
man
what's the
is
level of self?
bothered.
I have a question. What level of self-deprecation is it to spend 300 grand on a vehicle to prove to people how unbothered you are about something that's clearly bothering you?
I don't know, maybe 500 grand's where it's at. He's
Like
definitely.
how do you break that? Like he has to eventually just crash, right? There's no like reasonable way out mentally for him, correct?
I think he just eventually has to like just deal with it. Like he has to like face
He,
himself and just be like,
he's
"Fuck," like, yeah,
the question though is how do you deal with it? Because he's literally been trying to deal with it. Like John pointed out in the beginning, he's just been trying to take it on head forth. Like, yeah, I'm a cuck. Like he's put out memes of like him with his face plastered on it being a cuck. Like he's jumped into it. Let me self-deprecate and own it, so therefore I regain the power or however weird gymnastics you have to do.
yeah,
Now it's gotten out of hand to the point where the guys went on some interview saying how he did his Adam's own wife better than he could do it. And now the guy had to respond to it saying, "You're not allowed to fuck my wife again." It's like, oh, you got me there, bub. It's
yeah.
like, like, what? Like, I guess my question, like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, there's literally nothing he can do.
I think
Like,
he
he
has
just
to.
should shut up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like he has to create his own apathy to it. Honestly, I think the only thing he could hold on is like, dude, yeah, I gave her one, or like she took one, and I've had hundreds. All right, and then just move on.
Also, I'm not sure if this is true. I ain't seen the video, but I was on Twitter and they said he busted all of them guts.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. I heard he did a little bit of cream pie.
Mm. Well, but that's what I'm saying though. Like he has to.
Yeah, where's the sound effect? Oh my god!
He has to just kind of fucking like just let it go. If I know it's not easy because he's being challenged in like a weird way.
Oh,
That's
wow,
that's
dude.
probably going against like whatever like societal instincts are and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like he was indulging as much as he could, and now the repercussion is he kind of like made his own bed, so he be like, all right, this is
So
an L, and like do what he does.
I kind of want to real quick. I really want to hash this out a little bit. I want to go back to Doc's point because Doc wanted to. I'm pretty sure Doc still thinks this that she's the cuck, not Adam, or they're both cucks. I guess the only question I want to ask before we move on is, do you think? I think the answer is obvious, but do you think the reaction would have been just as great if they Adam and the wife weren't doing those threesome podcasts? If they weren't doing that, and he decided to do some scene like, "Oh, I'm doing my first scene with another girl," do you think there would have been such a visceral reaction that Adam had if it was in the reverse towards the wife?
So
I don't think so.
this is assuming that there's no like there's no like porn history. Like it's just he just cheated on his wife.
Well, no, not no. Well, I mean, like, there's a porn history because they do porn. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like they have that podcast together and they have this dynamic where they do the podcast and they have a threesome with those girls afterward. If you
Yeah.
take that out of the equation, because technically speaking, like, yeah, I mean, I guess you don't have to take that out of the equation. Leave it in there. It's just
I'm so
the
confused.
roles were reversed. He was
Mhm.
able to do a solo shoot with another girl and promote it. Like, what's a famous Mia Khalifa? He was able to have sex with Mia Khalifa
Yeah.
and do some big promotion. Do you think there would have been a visceral reaction to that against her compared to the visceral reaction going on against him?
I don't think so.
That's why I don't think she's a cuck.
But from what I'm saying though is that like people like understand like the dynamic of like, oh well he's it's difficult to say like because I'm also trying to picture hypothetical. So they're having sex, they're living their porn star life, and then like at that point I think people would just kind of assume that like he's doing his star thing. I don't think that the reaction would be honestly, I feel like there would be a reaction, but they would just be like, "Oh, it's just Adam, fucking egotistical person or something like that." But like the reaction would be like, "Bro, you got married, man. Like, what the fuck are you?" And I think that would be the heavy reaction. But because they're both involved, I think at this for her to do it and for the drama to fall out, that's because honestly, actually, like if he hadn't probably leaned into it, I don't bad. Like I think it would have just been like, "Oh, like yeah, dude, porn, like do porn, like that's just what it is," and then it would have just been like it would have been like, whoa, they're just the weird people, like family together or whatever the fuck they're doing their thing. But I think the fact now that the porn star is starting to cause drama, now he's like actually a problem, and I think that is what's fueling all of it. Does that make sense?
Kinda. I mean, also you're cutting out a lot.
Okay.
I heard you.
Yeah, because
Well, I don't think
I,
it would have been this. Go ahead.
well, because what I'm trying to say is like the reason why I started to think that she was cuck is because I saw these interactions. I didn't see the media and was like, God, that poor, she's a cuck.
Mm.
It's like when I saw the video of him asking to be graded in front of like an audience. That's when I was just like, damn, that's like you have like power
It's
to
demeaning,
it's
but
demeaning exactly.
I wouldn't say it's cuck though, but I would agree it's like it's
I
demeaning
get
for
what
sure.
you're saying.
But what
I
I'm
get
saying
what
is
you're
that like
saying.
that power is displayed in front of us, where she is put
Yeah.
in her box, and she's being displayed in front of us, and we are now like, oh yeah, like she is being graded in front of everybody. Give her, no, you can't fuck her anymore. No, only he can. Like, like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, in the sense that like the powerlessness is what I'm thinking. Her being a cuck.
I think those moments are moments of him trying to reclaim some type of public masculinity, and they're more for show than for actual overexertions of dominance. Like, because, like, put it like this, I believe he's so in the red that those big deposits of black still keep him in the red. Like, it's not enough. So I think those are just moments of him trying to, oh, I'm a man. Yeah, I can still offer her whoever I want to, like, type shit. But that's not.
Bro,
But also, to answer Gene's question, I think the answer is no. It wouldn't be, the public outcry wouldn't be the same because there's double standard, obviously. But two, um, just so y'all know, the real crowd. So recently on No Jumper, right? Maybe 4 or 5 months ago, half of his staff damn near walked out. Half of his talent walked out. A lot of
I
them
wonder
were
why.
like
I
former
wonder why.
gangbangers and like but real personalities that helped him build the show from the ground up, like from its inception. So they all left because um he got caught talking about one of the employees behind their back in a way that was slick disrespectful. And when he got approached about it, he lied. And then when he found out how the person found out, he fired that person on their own on a live show. So he got a lot of backlash. A lot of people
Really?
lose the channel. He had a large
This
decrease.
is karma then.
People started noticing how um he would incite drama between people on the show and try and sell it. He's also the same guy that outed one of his employees for having a trans sexual interaction with a transsexual. Like he's done stuff like that. So there's a large crowd of I hate Adam people. And when I say large, I mean go to any no jumper video in the last 4 or 5 months and just go to the comments. It's all hate toward Adam. Most of his views have flipped from people being interested in the content to people just watching it so they can talk shit about Adam. So that crowd is the same crowd who went to Lena and said, "We want to watch you get fucked by somebody else." The internet paid for revenge porn,
And they gave it to him, which is
and they gave.
wild. And they uh,
So like this is all the same people.
the thing that bothers me the most,
They
I think I
wanted.
understand.
Go ahead.
I think I finally pinpointed why this like really bothers me to the way it does. It's because they're married and that's his wife. This whole situation tarnishes the whole the sanctity of marriage and the title of wife. Like I just think it's so disrespectful what he's doing to her, and I know she doesn't feel disrespected. She probably doesn't feel disrespected, but I think as a husband and as a man, what you're doing to your wife is so fucking disrespectful. It bothers me to no fucking end. Like how can you allow that? How can you be okay with? I think it's wild. Like I just think that's wild.
And that's
And I
also the
think marriage at an
explanation for
all-time low that people just want like you can do this kind of shit. Oh, let's get married. They should never have gotten married. Like you
correct.
guys don't deserve marriage. I know that's a hot take for me to say, but like
No,
y'all
it's not.
don't deserve marriage. Y'all don't deserve
I
the
agree with
title of
that.
husband and wife. Like that's wild.
But if you bring it full
Infuriates me.
circle, that explains why he's leaning so hard into it. Because it's the same group of people that say, fuck Adam, we hate Adam. He can't let them feel like he's being hurt by this. So that's why he's going overboard to say, oh, I'm not affected, because he knows that's who got what they wanted.
I got no more to say. That's like I said. I finally think I found what it makes was why my blood's boiling. Is that right there? What I said. I don't care what he does. It's the fact that they're married, they got a kid, and they're doing this nonsense. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
How old's
You're
your
a
kid?
teenager. He's a fucking teenager right now. Adam 22 is a 30-year-old teenager, or however old he is. I don't know how old the kid is. I'm too scared to know. It'd probably
They
break
said,
my heart.
allegedly, apparently, he used to like teenagers, allegedly. So,
All right, we're going down a
All right,
different
we're
rabbit hole.
yeah, we're pretty much hitting the hour mark. Y'all still want to touch on the Jonah Hill stuff? Or you want to call it here?
Jonah Hill ain't do it, man. That man been too busy losing weight and gaining weight at the same time
All right, let's
in
get
a
into it.
discussion.
Pull up the Jonah Hill thing, Ian.
I don't even know what they say he did, but
Into it.
All right. Jonah Hill ex-girlfriend posts his alleged text and blasts him as a misogynist. So Jonah Hill's alleged dirty laundry is getting aired out by an ex who's posting what she claims are a
I like
ton of old
massages too.
texts from him and painting him as a toxic partner. Surfer instructor Sarah Brady, Jonah Hill's former flame of about a year from a back in 2021, is dragging the actor publicly on her Instagram account, and she's not holding back anything in her reputation of him as an alleged misogynist narcissist, as she puts it herself. We got some text messages here. Let's read them real quick, Ian. Literally just say hello and leave the convo. I love how your therapist thinks I suck. I literally am the best boyfriend on earth. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnerships. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
That's
Sarah
him
has thrown.
texting.
These are all his text messages to her.
Yeah.
Sarah has thrown up several text messages that she attributes to Jonah, and if they're to be believed, it appears he was often concerned, upset about her posting photos of herself. You can hop onto her Instagram story for yourself to see the full characterization she's putting out there. But bottom line, it doesn't make Jonah look good at all. That's opinionated. I disagree with that one. Sarah suggests Jonah was manipulative and what do you say, John? Oh, he's gonna let me finish. Sarah suggests Jonah was manipulative and controlling in the relationship and hurls even more allegations. Here's a reaction to I agree to everything you said, except I am not comfortable with you posting bathing suit pictures at this moment because you have, and it ends there. Nor may I ever want that from my partner, and I reserve that right and I'm open about it. Let me know. Will respect you either way, but these are my boundaries of this romantic relationship. Thanks. I love to know before the premiere so I'm not put in the position of publicly flaunting our love if my boundaries are going to be continued to be disrespected. That would be hurtful and triggering for me. And she replies, understood. Take some accountability, and this is Jonah again, by the way. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture that contest and that places because I deserve respect. Period. I have been more than patient, and then shit like this is still here. Fuck that contest, fuck that place, and fuck not respecting me always in every situation within surf culture, or you don't get it. You don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. Get it? I don't know if you get it, or care, or give a shit about that shit more than me, or even after Dr. Stern said it's louder and clear. Dr. Stern is the couples therapist who therapist we were seeing once a week for about, so that's their couple therapist, I guess.
Damn, I
A
didn't know he
lot
was
of
that down for surf culture, bro. Like,
No, I think it's she's that's down for it because she's in the surf culture. He's trying to be supportive of her career because I think she's a professional surfer or like a surfer instructor or something like that.
oh
She's the
really?
one in the surfer culture. It's her, the girlfriend's
Oh,
in
okay,
surfer culture, not Jonah Hill.
gotcha.
Um, a lot of the alleged texts she posted appear to show Jonah as constantly bickering at her over a number of things. Dude, who the fuck wrote this? Whether it's a photos of herself surfing, how she handles herself in social situations, or even what a therapist she was seeing apparently thought of him. She also blasts his understanding of boundaries and suggests he would often gas at her to keep her under his thumb. By the way, the two of them would pit public events together and were photographed as a pair at a handful of things. I think we pretty much read enough if y'all want to dive into it. Basically, like Jonah Hill established some boundaries. She didn't like the boundaries. They broke up, and now, and these are old. The apparently the full story is she released these text messages once he found a new girlfriend. So she's being a crazy ex about the situation, and the new girlfriend's pregnant with his baby.
That sucks.
You know what his new girlfriend probably thought when she saw these?
You
Oh,
got,
I got the same boundary set, but I liked him.
but I like him.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks like a. I don't think he was being like
I will say he came
insane or
across
anything like that.
as a nagger.
Hold on, let Doc finish his thought.
Well, I was just saying, like, it just seemed like a couples fight, and that he was just kind of setting his boundaries. This is what I want. Yeah. I think it was too aggressive or anything like that.
I do think he comes off a little narcissistic as well, but like
Explain the
if he's
narcissism.
like no, because he came off. You know how we could be super logical in a conversation. First off, it's in my opinion that she probably deleted some messages in between to make him seem like he was just paragraphing and she was one wording
Never
him.
saw her replies.
Either that
Never
or
saw her
she knew
replies.
she
true.
knew she was replying knowing she was gonna screenshot him and therefore replied in that way so she could screenshot him. So either way, I
What
don't
did we say
trust
about
him.
women being manipulative
But
earlier?
why? Because of the nigga that she's, I'm just playing. But
Yeah.
um but he set his boundaries. But he's okay with that himself. He just wants somebody to be able to operate within that space with him, which
Fair.
is okay if you have options. Like I guess, like
Even
if
if
you
you don't have
believe that
options, like it's
always
still fair.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Even if you don't have options, like that's how you.
no,
I
it's
think everybody should
fair,
live.
but I'm saying it's okay as in if your end goal is to actually end up with somebody, and I mean options, like you feel like you're okay with waiting for somebody to fit that mold 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Like you're just okay, and your end goal is not to be with anybody. Okay, sure, alone, that's fine. But if your end goal is to be in a relationship, then he has to understand some of his boundaries. Some of his boundaries are a little, I don't want to say the word extreme, but like could be updated, if you will.
I think
Really?
Like
Which
if she's a
ones?
I
surfer,
I think the one
her
about
taking
surfing,
pictures
yeah,
in a bikini is not crazy. So he's wrong there.
Okay, that one's fair. I have to see the pictures because if she's a surfer, she's gonna be in bikinis. That's very fair.
yeah,
I
and
guess
also her like not surfing with dudes. It's like it's her job, or like it's like I don't. If it really is her job, then yeah, she's gonna do it. She's gonna be around people in her industry.
that's why I guess I would want to know more context because it could be like she was taking more provocative pictures in her bikinis. Because let's be honest, with this modern 23 modern woman, like sex sells, and women have no problem selling their sexuality to garner followers, likes, money. If she was doing that, then I don't think it was wrong of him. If she was doing that, it was just her surfing and she was in bikini doing surf stuff. Then yeah, you're right. He's being a little like relaxed, bro. That's part of her surf job, like chill. And then with the men surfing with men, if she's just surfing with men and teaching them, then there's no problem. But if there was some flirtatious going on, and like we prefaced earlier, women know that men are weak to women, using their sexuality to get
Yeah, but
places. If
that's
she's
a
doing
lot of
that, that would bother
assuming.
me too. I
But that's a
that I,
lot of
no, there's a
assuming.
lot of assuming on both sides. Y'all are assuming she wasn't doing this. I'm trying to point out she might be doing that. You're right.
No, I'm
We don't know.
assuming.
I just want
No, 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 no,
context.
no. I'm not assuming she didn't do it. I'm saying he didn't say she did.
Fair. That's
And
fair.
you get what I'm saying? So like if he didn't say if that was what was going on in them text messages, he would have said that's what she was doing.
He
He
might
was more
have.
you can tell he was speaking from a place of insecurity because he was saying she doesn't get it. Like you don't understand how men can be. You don't understand those guys that are just around you surfing with you. They're not just surfing. They actually want to fuck you at the end of the day. Like that's how men feel. That sometimes it leaks. And so I feel
Fair.
like he was using therapist lingo because they've been seeing a therapist. He was using the words correctly to not come off wrong,
Okay.
but
Perfect
some of his
question.
asks were wrong.
Perfect question. Because you are right. I agree with what you said completely. Then my question would be, do you then not think it's a girlfriend's, I don't know if I say job, role, responsibility, or just respect kind of thing, to at least navigate around that insecurity? Because men
If you
have like,
choose to if you
because men
you
have
know and it's both ways, but
exactly.
because women
So
have their own insecurities, but if you choose see this is the thing, if you choose to be with that person. Now, the problem is he set parameters, right? And this is why she's bogus. But he set parameters, and now we've agreed some of those parameters could be off. But he set parameters, and she wasn't willing, I guess, to operate within those parameters,
true,
right? She
true.
waited till he was in a relationship to release that information
With
in
another
order to
girl,
sabotage whatever he had going on.
I 100%
But
agree with
he
that.
set his parameters, and they're not together. So guess what? You didn't it didn't work. It didn't and because it didn't work, he's right now. Because he set him and he moved on. Now, if you're trying to force each other to change under the parameters and da da da, you staying together, that's different. That's not what happened. He didn't force her to change. They broke up.
Miss Chrissy said it's also it's also so hard to convey emotion through text. So there is also so much we as outsiders can get out of their messages. I agree with that. And me personally, I just don't engage in text messages like that. I just if we're gonna have a fight or a dispute and it gets to the point where I'm writing an essay, I'm either gonna call you or we gotta meet up and we gotta talk. Cause I'm not about to sit here and just be on my
We be
phone, my
texting in
thumbs
this
going
house.
crazy. I'm not. That's just not me. I'm not doing that.
Big graphs.
I'm the opposite, but only because like I know I like writing. So to me, I'm just like, oh, I know the ball's in my court, but it is much better. But it's only because
And then
like
it's verbatim.
yeah, like when I feel it, I hate waiting because I've had texts before where it's just like, we're gonna talk when we get home. That shit pisses me off. When we get home, that shit pisses me off because there's nothing. It's just mulling in my head, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm contemplating, I'm strategizing, and
Dive
I
into
hate
this.
it.
This is actually
I hate it.
interesting.
I hate
Ain't
it.
nothing like seeing them 3 little dots typing and you know some bullshit coming.
Yeah. That's why, like, when the fight is on, like I'm heated, I need to do it right there and then.
Oh yeah, we be fine. We be fine.
See, I guess
Just get my phone, just
Blue bubbles.
to expose myself or reveal myself a little bit. The reason why I'd rather talk than text is because I get to not compartmentalize, I guess shut off. Like I don't have to deal with the frustration or the anger or the annoyance or the sadness or whatever it is when it comes to the fight until I'm with you dealing with it. That's why I don't want to text you or I don't want to talk on the phone. I get to shut that off and keep it on lock until I'm in the moment. If I'm
That
texting on the
nigga be bottling arguments. Nigga be putting arguments in the freezer.
but that's what no, but that's texting. Texting you get to model your arguments. Like that's the whole point. That's why I guess to push back on not push back on
Nah,
Doc, but
texting,
ask
texting, you get some of that steam off. You
Yeah,
hell
okay?
no.
Put it
we
like
fight
this. Let's put it like
differently.
this. Your arguments is in the freezer until you get home. Our arguments in the sink on.
Yeah.
on
Well, then I'm the
Yeah.
same way then in text messages. Then I'll take my time to respond. If I have to respond to you and we're going at it, I'm not shooting shit off just on a whim. I'm reading through it. I'm making sure what I want to say, the thought I want to say, it is getting put through concise, effectively, and rationally. I'm not just sending them quickly. I'm taking an hour to respond,
I
maybe
hate when
even
that
2.
happens though, like when you're out with your friends or something, you're having a good time, and then that
and then
shit
you just
starts
get
up.
the
Yeah,
son,
I hate
and
when
you
it
can
happens.
tell.
Yeah,
You
because all
can
of a
tell.
sudden
You go.
you're like, oh shit, he's writing an essay, studying right now. You're just
I'm
there
not
Shit,
like,
doing
nigga
it.
trying to hide his phone.
I'm
Nigga,
not doing it.
you know,
I'm not doing it.
everybody ready to go to the wherever y'all going. He's still on the couch.
yeah,
He's like, "Hey, you coming? Yeah, man."
I'm about to proofread this shit. Hold up.
Nah.
Nigga in the
I'm not.
car, everybody else dancing to the music. Nigga, all you see is the light hitting off the window.
Honestly, God forgive me. John's been there when girls try to send me long ass text messages. I just showed John the long ass thing, and I didn't just throw the phone. Like I'm not doing this. I've done that. How many times have I done that to you, John?
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. Like no.
Oh man, you getting all these messages, SMS.
It's so funny because I've had the opposite reaction. Because to me, I will engage with that, but it's just because like I don't know. Like I said, man, I've gotten texts that just say, just we'll talk about this when we get home, and that for some reason is like, no,
Triggers me.
we're fighting now.
Triggers me
We're
now.
fighting
That's
now.
funny.
Like I'm plugging in a keyboard into this fucking phone. We're going like.
That's
And
honestly that's probably where the toxic in me lies in. Because if you send me an entire paragraph, an essay, I'm responding K.
yeah, you'll
I'm
be petty about it.
I've done that before. I've done that before.
He's trying to get hurt.
I've done
Yeah.
that.
He's trying
I've
to
done
get
that. Like
hurt.
I'm not doing
Talking
this
about
whole
some
essay
K.
over a text message thing. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that, especially if it's from left field. Like if you just randomly send me, like if you've been simmering and dwelling and you're mad about something, you've never brought it before or tried to address it, and now you want to address it in an essay-long text message? Nah,
Nah,
nah.
if we arguing, we goddamn it get to a point in the argument where we try and both end it with as little interaction to piss the other one off. So like,
I've
so
done that.
Yeah.
I've done that.
so,
Yeah.
so like somebody will say, "Okay,
Sure.
I like the okay."
Yes. Damn. Yes.
Trying to keep the peace.
Now, if Apple really want to get petty, they'll let you like somebody liking the
Like.
okay, and y'all just keep going back and forth like a Facebook.
That's one of
Oh
those.
man,
Everyone's bloodied, and everyone's just like, "All right, you're trucing for right
yeah.
now. You stay
Hey,
in your dugout. I stay in mine. All right."
that's it. That should be fire. Or you turn. Ooh, okay. I know what I'm gonna do next time. I know she's listening, but I'm gonna still do it. I'm gonna goddamn. I'm gonna turn my red receipts on after cause sometimes she be getting me with the last like, so I'll be tight. So I'm gonna turn my red receipts on. So this should say red. Final nail in the coffin. This is gonna say red.
The red
Ah,
is a
yes.
harsh juke. That is a harsh juke for sure.
Honestly, I think people who keep the read receipts on, they do that because of that reason. They want to be
Menaces.
able to look at it, let you get the red
Menaces.
notification, and then never
Yeah,
respond.
yeah.
Menaces.
Yeah, that one's intense. That's too much information.
I agree. That's
How
why.
long did we go today? This shit was long as hell.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
we talked about we're at the hour 15 marker. We talked about the Adam 22 thing a lot because there's a lot to
We
like a lot
talked
of
about it
angles.
longer than the sex tape was.
We
Yeah.
really did. Well, let's real quick cut out any last thoughts
How
about
long is
Jonah
the
Hill.
sex tape? What if it's an
I don't know.
hour?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Is it a movie or a tape? Is there a difference? I don't know. Now I'm getting.
Nah, I'm not
Dude, what
rehashing
if
that
it's an
out.
hour, 20-minute long movie? Straight plumbing.
You think it's like music where it's like a mixtape or like an actual like album?
Oh my goodness. What if there's an intro?
Yeah, man.
What if there's an intro to your wife getting piped? Oh my
It's like Adam dropping off his wife at the hotel.
Oh God. Not not dropping it wrong, dog. That's ridiculous. That's too much. All right. Sorry, Gene. Let's defund the media.
Yes. All right, last takes about the Jonah Hill thing. Kind of got off topic a little bit. My last hot topic is I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he exerted boundaries. To John's points, there may have been a little bit of leakage of insecurities, but I think he's justified in setting those boundaries. I think she has exposed how shitty of a girlfriend she was. Arguably, I would go as far as say shitty of a potential girlfriend she can be. And that's my hot take.
I think that was skinny Jonah and not big Jonah. That's my take.
I don't know, man. I feel like their lives are. I don't know. Yeah, they're totally wild to tell you the truth. Like, yeah, he's in the right for setting his boundaries, and it just wasn't working, and it doesn't really matter anymore.
Good luck to her to find a new man. All right, y'all. I think that's enough fake deep thinking, talking about how to set boundaries and cuckoldry and how not to act when you're married, in my opinion, because don't do that shit. Please don't do that shit. If y'all haven't liked the video, please like the video, show some support. If you want to leave a comment, please let us know how much you love us, how much you hate us, or let us know an argument that we should address, haven't addressed, or you want us to react to. Share the clip. Let's get some more people in here reacting to this and engaging with us because it's always fun to read your comments because sometimes seeing y'all get mad at our responses is hilarious and get the stuff going. Ethan, I'm talking about you. We will see y'all next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.
Yo, thanks for making it to the end. We really appreciate it and hope you all enjoyed the show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell to get notified when we post our clips.
Follow us on Twitter at PodcastFDT. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are all Fake Deep Thinking. Check us out, please.
FDT. Peace, y'all.
Peace.